now that we know that percent is always out of 100, we need to understand what some of the other key words might be to help us set up our problem. So the labels we're going to use, we will always have a part, goodness, it won't move, that's going to be over a total. That's what a fraction is the part out of the total. So every time we're going to be using part and total as our label, or P and T. So as we do that, we set that up to look like part over total, and that's going to equal the percent, and then we have to know that magic mystery number is always going to be 100. So every single time we set up a percent problem, we will have the part, the total, percent, 100 in that same order every single time. So these are the pieces, right? The part that we got correct, and then the total's always out of 100 every single time. So as you're reading some of these problems, you might see some different words that mean part and total. So some other key words that might mean part is the word is. This is what we have. Okay, this is the part that we have. And it's out of the total. This is out of this, right? If I say a fraction, 3 out of 4, 3 is what we have out of 4. So knowing the words is and of are going to help us set these problems up in the right way. But every time you can see the piece that we have is on the top, and the total's always on the bottom, and the number will be 100. So let's try one out here. So we have the question, what is 40% of 60? So first we just want to break that up. So the way that I do that is I always start and I circle my percent. That one's really easy to find. That means 40 out of 100. I know that one, 40 out of 100. So now we're just going to break up the other parts. We have what is. Ooh, what? We don't know. We're looking for the what, and it's out of 60. Something is out of 60. So the part is, we don't know. That's what we're looking for. That's the question mark. Out of the total 60. We have to know which one is the total, which one is the part. So as I'm writing this in an equation, we have 40% of, and of means to multiply. So when we hear of, that means multiply. So 40% of 60 equals, and that's the word is. It is what? We don't know. That's what we're looking for, is that W at the end. So here's our equation. 40% of 60, or 40% times 60 is what? Now to solve this, we're going to turn this 40% into a decimal, right? So we would just move our decimal 2 places forward. So this is 0.40 times 60 is, and we're going to solve it. So I know 4, so let's set up our problem. 60 times 40. I know 4 times 6 is 24, and it has 2 zeros on it. But I can see that there are 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. So 40% of 60 is 24. So you can set up your equation. That's one way you can solve it. But the equation, right, of means times, is, what is, it's just the equal sign. This is that. So let's try one other way. Let's use the proportion method here. So same thing, we have the 40%. I always circle that because that kind of breaks up the problem. So we're looking for the is, the part, we know the total. So our proportion, we have to have labels. So I know I want my part on the top and my total on the bottom. So now this is the part, total. We're going to put the percent right here. If we come back to this part right here. Oh, sorry. Okay, pause. Sorry, just in case you weren't sure, this part goes right here. Okay, so continuing on, if we come back to our keywords and our percent setup, right? We have part, total, percent 100. Every single time, this last part right here is going to be 100. This is always 100. Now, we notice nowhere in the problem did it say 100, right? That's our secret mystery word. It's right here, percent 100. And we know we have 40%. We know that. And we know our total is 60 out of 60 of 60. And we're looking for this part. What is this out of 60? If you have 40%, what is that? So we're setting it up. You have to think about what we know, though, to get things in the right spot. So now there is not a nice way to get from 60 to 100. So we're going to use that proportion method, and we're going to crisscross multiply. 6 times 4 is 24 with 2 zeros. So 2,400. And then we're going to divide that by 100. So divided by 100. So I need something above each of these numbers. So 100 can't go into 2. It can't go into 24. But it goes into 240 2 times. So that's 200. There's 40 left over. Bring down that 0. 100 goes into 400 24 times. So when I have 24 out of 60, that is 40%. So what is 40% of 60? 24. That's exactly what we got when we did the equation. So you can do it either way that makes sense to you. So we just have to make sure we set things up and put them in the right places. Just go ahead, take a few minutes, color in anything, those labels, those keywords that might be important to help you remember about percentages.